All right. Hello, everybody. Um, this would be the first actual live stream that worked out at exactly 4:05. With the game is starting now. We know the rules. Well, no, I'm learning. Done this for 3 days now, but I I'm amazed by it. To be honest with you, this is, I think, one of the most remarkable things that we've uh, done for the communication. Supposedly communication, everybody's communication, but nobody really communicates. I feel like this is a game changer. It has been apparently for a lot of people for a while now, but you need time. You need time to learn how it works and start, and then you need, apparently, as they're telling me on the videos I've been watching, you need like 100 videos. Nobody's gonna watch. That's okay. It's actually kind of cool that nobody watches because you have an opportunity again to learn because you're gonna get better. I like anything else. Practice makes perfect. So I'm really looking forward to this. We do have, excuse me, I get the game coming on soon. Now in the future, of course, if I would like to be more interactive, but there's nobody here yet. So really doesn't matter. We're talking baseball, we're talking business, we're talking. Actually, what I would like to discuss a majority of the time is business. And this channel is going to be connected to another channel, connected to another channel, and so forth and so on, because this interconnectedness is it's like a web through everything, through the ether. So there's going to be channels and businesses and things to come. I've been looking forward to something like this, I think, my whole life. Um, Growing up, different things I always thought what a cool thing it would be to be on the radio. Now, I haven't been on, I'm only 3 days in. I love to find a way, and if anybody hears this and knows, and of course I'm going to look it up, but I've been trying to actually knock this out in like a week. Like learning how to do a lot of the stuff. And it's extremely tiring, I'm not going to lie. I give people a hard time who work on computers all day, and I take it all back. It hurts your brain and your eyes. It hurts differently. It hurts differently than physical. But the nice part when with this kind of stuff is it's my work is only 5 feet. I just got to finish my lunch. Made a nice salmon fillet, just some brown rice. Didn't go too crazy, but it was delicious. Um, and I got to be able to do that. And then 5 minutes later, walk in here because I knew the game was on. It's what I wanted to do. I just watched the game anyway. And then on top of it, for anybody who's new, because there's nobody, um, I am no longer being a uh, an employee. I don't want to be an employee. I've tended bar for 29 years. I guess for 30. I don't remember what month it started. I just remember my age. And it's been a hell of a run. It's been a hell of a run. So I got lots of stories, but besides the stories, more or less, it's how I structured, or I'm trying to structure the business around what I did kind of for the last 15 years. So I worked in hotels for 15 years. You meet a lot of people. I worked in the airport for a long time. Meet a lot of people. Tending a bar. I did do it in restaurants for a long time earlier in my. I didn't call it a career, but it was my career. Um, um, so yeah, I was in restaurants basically starting, which was perfect because you learn how things are supposed to run. Um, and it was beneficial because I got to do everything. Learned all aspects from literally dishwashing at Ardito's Deli in New York, Long Island, New York. It was my first job, and it was washing dishes in the back. And the irony I always felt is back then I wore a hat every day, and you weren't allowed to wear a hat to wash the dishes. But now you're forced to wear a hat to do virtually anything in the kitchen. You have to at least have your hair back and yada yada yada. But and it bothered me. It really did as my first job. I can't believe that for the rest of my life, as I'm in the back and nobody sees me anyway, it's relevant whether or not I'm wearing a hat. Kind of felt that way. I think about a lot of things we learn too. People joke about it now. You learn all this stuff in school, and the benefit is to get you a job to work for someone else. They, I think it's not in government best interest for you to Seattle already. The first pitch. Um, I don't think it's in the best interest of, let's say, the Democratic Party currently for small businesses to thrive. And that is a major problem in the United States of America because the whole concept is to have it thrive on small businesses. So, what this channel is more going to be about than anything else is how we, as a community, and around the world, I mean, I don't know how this is going to go, but the more people that I can find a way to help or understand certain things in order to get the businesses up and running, I will be saying this throughout. I'm a firm believer in using your environment for everything. So, I mean, that's how we learn, right? So, I tend to bar in hotels and airports. My business, being that that's the case, I came in contact with a lot of people that need rental cars. One nothing, one nothing Seattle. I've come into contact with a lot of people who need rental cars, and it just made sense to me that during this certain times of year here, where I live in Arizona, people need to rent cars. It's that simple. So a car essentially is a depreciating. It's not an asset. It's depreciating. They say the word asset. I don't know, however, that works, but no, that's true because you do use it to go to work and do things like that. But it's a unfortunately, it's not as bad as buying a boat or something like that, which just financially, buying a boat is wonderful. Having a boat, I'm sure, is wonderful. But financially, it drains things. If you find a way to incorporate it into your business, it's a different story. Same thing with the car now because they're so expensive. You would think over the course of the last 50 years, they would get better at making cars, not worse. And we have gotten somehow worse because the cars aren't as they don't last as long. Well, I wasn't around back too long ago, so I don't know that to be the case. But I do know that some of them are easier to fix for a while. Um, but it should get cheaper. If a car was $5,000, well, inflation is part of that too. But if a car was $5,000 now, how are cars going for $100,000? The whatever company that's making the same product over and over and over again should get better at it. Tesla is a prime example. It's not perfect, of course, but they're getting better every day. Every day they work to get better and better and better to bring the cost of the car down. all of production should work like this. Instead, we're fighting inflation and we're fighting the cost of production. Now, a lot of times the cost of production goes up because of taxes and other nonsense, which also we have to learn how to fight all of that legally with businesses and accountants, because that I'm not. But we also have ChatGPT, or I'll probably use that terminology currently, but I like other AIs. I use that because people know what that is. I like other AIs better than ChatGPT, and eventually I will figure out how to put a link down and because the idea with that is, say you take ChatGPT and you give it all of your information, have everything filed away, all your payments, all your things in the correct order. You give it to ChatGPT and ask it to be an accountant, basically, and it does pretty much everything. You could ask it to go back, go check over it a couple of times, read through it, see if there's anything that it misses, and then bring it to an accountant. If you bring that to an accountant, they should be able to read through it, and number one, they'll love you. And if everybody did this, the accountant probably wouldn't have to charge as much because he can knock out 10,000 of them instead of going through everybody's nonsense all the time. Again, production should make things cheaper. So if you handle it yourself, which is not that complicated now between QuickBooks and everything else, you can pretty much handle all of your operations through the computer and have whatever it is that you're trying to produce to get better. These streams, that's one thing I got to tell you. So I went into Rumble. I've been looking at it for a while, but I've tried to do it on my phone and everything else. And truth is, I didn't have a computer. So I tried to do all these things, and it was confusing for me, probably because I'm older. And I jumped on Rumble on the computer 2 days ago. And it was a little confusing at first, but the only way for me to be able to get through stuff like this, I honestly can't listen to a YouTuber or any. I can't, not for a period of time where I'm trying to do it at the same time. Okay, and then you got to go back, rewind, and then I can look it up again, ChatGPT, and read it right in the next. Let's see, what's it? The next link over. Anyway, I got onto Rumble, and I am relatively computer savvy. I'm not going to say that I'm not. I am. I started a company a while back. It was a pet supply company, actually, before Chewy. And dreams, but you got to keep going because you're going to essentially, I guess, fail. I really didn't consider it a fail. I don't consider it a fail. I was trying to do it online. I was basically trying to do, not for food per se, because I don't know how dogs got through history before kibble. They ate food, and now all of a sudden they don't, just like we don't, and they seem to die earlier, and we want to start, So, what I wanted to do was, buy chew toys, and actually, what my plan was. Oh, Lindor, baby, tied it up. Yeah, buddy. Yeah. All right. So, I'm gonna probably wind up losing my train of thought a couple of times through this, but as I'm learning how to do all this stuff on Rumble, I have to say I believe invariably this is the now. The question is, how come I can't see? Maybe I can't see me and you can see me. I'm not sure how exactly, but I'm sharing too many tabs. You get the point. 1-1. Look at that, nice. That was a leadoff, probably. Ooh, that was a leadoff. Look, oh, they're feeling it. They're feeling it. Come on, let's go. Let's go. I'm tired of this. They're a good team. They can be a good team. Um, anyway, so I do believe that out of the group, Rumble is the uh, top tier. I would say that YouTube is an easier product, but Rumble is a overall more complicated. But you know what? Yeah, I'll put it like this. I think that Rumble is more like the Android, and YouTube is more like the iPhone. YouTube is very easy to work, and everybody should do it. I'd say one of the uh, top things that I pay for, that I'm happy I pay for, is YouTube. I basically don't do cable TV anymore. Uh, at $200 a month or something. Again, they should get better at it. How does it get more expensive? Well, the reason for that is because the stock price has to continue to go up. And it's just not feasible. There comes a point where for not for everything, the internet obviously could go all over the world. But for a lot of things, there comes a point where you can't grow anymore. There's not going to be that many more subscribers. Like certain things, there's not going to, the internet even, there's not going to be that many more subscribers until if people don't have the internet, those people get the internet, so forth and so on. So it takes time, but invariably this should all become cheaper. And now essentially it is, right? Can you imagine what it would take to produce a show? Go on Fox News and how much it costs to produce that show. And now, in about 2 more days, I could have 5 guests on. Actually, I could probably do it right now. But the point is, everybody has a show. This is the Truman Show for everyone, it could be a business. You can turn this into. This is my viewpoint on how. This is how I'm going to be going about this. Um, Pizza, big cut. So what I'm doing is I'm starting this stream and I'm chatting with the world and I'm looking for ideas and I'm giving ideas. And my current idea being that I rent out the cars and do small other things too. You can always do the door dashes and whatever. Uh, Pros and cons, like anything else. But I'd like to do more weddings. I'll drop people off, more concierge type transportation, not necessarily limos, but the other people that are going, maybe they don't want to drive and you don't know what you're really going to get with an Uber. You don't know when they're going to show up, if they're going to show up. I've had numerous instances with this twice, so it is numerous though. But it was twice consecutively in like 2 months where I was traveling. And both times, actually, I'm not sure if that's true. It doesn't really matter. But both times, it was early in the morning and catching long flights. So one was to Hawaii with my family. And another one, my family came here to Arizona, and then we were going to Hawaii. And then another one, I went to New York, and we were going to Italy. Both very early morning flights for whatever reason. I don't really like those. But anyway, now I didn't take into consideration, and granted, partially my fault, that there might not be an Uber. And I did call an Uber, and he said he's coming. And I waited 20 minutes and saw him pull up and drove away. But the first time the Uber pulled up, it's like 5:30 in the morning. It's me, my girlfriend, my mom, and my dad. And we're outside with our luggage. And this guy pulls up from the Uber and he looks at us and he goes, "I'm not putting all that luggage in the car." And I'm like, and we requested the biggest of the big, the, um, and said there's this amount of people and this amount of bags, and the car fitted, but he did. It was a nice car. It was a Lexus, but he didn't want to put it in the car. And I'm like, well, don't be out at 5 in the morning going to the airport and take a haul if you don't want to put the bags in the car because now we're stuck. What do you do in a situation like that? So I decided because it happened then, and then it happened again when I was going to New York. And I'm calling friends at 5 a.m. and seeing if they could drive me to the airport when, meanwhile, this is apparently people's business. This is what they do for a living. But like a lot of people's business and what they do for a living, they're not good at it. So I decided to start a company that will be there when you're going to the airport at 5 o'clock in the morning. And I'm not going to be rushing you to get out the door. It's going to be reasonably priced to accommodate the Uber charges and so forth and so on. So I feel like this is a service that, being that I'm small, could accomplish myself, and there's a few people that hopefully will be working with me soon enough. But especially as it ideally grows a little bit. But we got away from cabs. We just went straight to Uber. But being that I can keep it small for the time being, I don't need a lot of action that way because ideally I rent the cars out and they're doing their thing without me. So, but in the case that I do have them, I can do that. I can make, we can watch the game or something from the car nowadays, right? And uh, you can, so I incorporated what seems to be one of the largest payments for most people in their life, right? Your mortgage payment and your car payment. Now, if you have it, you gotta be kidding me. 2-1. Um, Mortgage payment is the biggest one. And then after the mortgage payment, I would think people's car payments because they're approximately $1,000 a month, um, give or take gas, insurance. $1,000 a month. You need a car, get that. I totally get that. But $1,000 a month, and I'd say half the people probably still are working from home at least a couple of days a week, and you're paying New York maintenance fees to be able to drive 17 miles a week. It just seems crazy. So my thought is this was a good idea to begin. Plus, now we have an administration that is killing it. It's killing it in the business aspect. And it's been really hard to start a business. I started this business in 2020, and it's kind of been on and off and on and off because there was the only incentive was to do things that I really didn't agree with or didn't want to do at the time, depending on what it is. Now, there are things that I agree with on that side that I can use, like solar. I live in Arizona. There's no way that solar is not going to be some way incorporated. I might not put it on my roof, but it's going to be somewhere. I have I have power from the universe. So I'm going to find a way to incorporate that into business. Um, I'm going to have EVs, might have hybrids. I currently have an EV on the way. We have a Model Y, new jet black, beautiful Model Y on the way, and that will be two cars that are currently on the road, and then just the one that I need to do anything else that we want to do, especially here in Arizona, because I got to. Sorry, I got it. The watch thing. It's gotten me in trouble, right? So I just got a message on my watch, and I started to read it, lost my train of thought, and this. I was in a job interview, and we're having a discussion, and it's going pretty good. This, that, and the other thing. And I kind of like lean back, and my watch goes off. And it's natural when something vibrates on your wrist to glance at it. And I glanced at it, and when I looked up, I could tell he thought I was looking at my watch as if it was taking too much time. And I I was going to explain it, but it was also a few years back. I've had a smartwatch now for, I might be exaggerating, but at least 15 years. Um, Maybe I'm exaggerating. I don't think I am, though. It seems like yesterday. But uh, it wasn't as understood yet. And I'm pretty sure that that's what he thought. Needless to say, I didn't get the job. Um, but I did get a lot of other jobs. That actually is a job. I've gotten many jobs. I've had many jobs throughout the years. I'm going to have to count some of the. I've counted with my family. It's kind of like an ongoing joke. 60 plus different places of employment between here, Connecticut, and New York. Um, Over a 30-year career, so that's what two. That's two a year, but it's not. It's not. The airport was like 5 years. Hotel was about 4 years. But a lot of times, especially back then, you would work two or three jobs at the same time. And when economies were not good, you worked two or three jobs at the same time. Sometimes because you couldn't get full time at one place, you'd have to bounce around and try and make things work. So uh, it was fun. It was fun. It was fun. 20 some years. But as I was saying the other day, I've kind of a lot of it's not as fun anymore. It's not the. It's just not the same. There's a new era of people that are coming in, and whether I like it or not, which I don't, and there's going to be a couple of instances that I definitely have to throw in here at some point about the absurdity of some of the things. Um, but the point is, it was a fun ride, and now we're into the car thing. So you could incorporate that into your business, and that way you don't have to fully pay a ridiculous amount. Now, the administration we currently have in, I am a fan of, in case there's any question about that. I'm a Trump fan. He reminds me of people I know. He reminds me of Queens. He is Queens with a lot of money, and that's kind of what you get. It's a rough crowd. It's a rough crowd. Yesterday, our stream was how much the Mets suck because I don't know how many times they could blow it. This is an ongoing, you know, for Met fans, it's an ongoing nightmare. Let me see if I can do this here real quick. If this will help out for the glare on my balding head. I was debating on wearing a hat and this and the other thing, but I feel like you get pigeonholed. Look, this is it, man. This is it, and is that another double? It's going to be a long game. It's going to be a good game. It's going to be a good game. I was debating. I don't know how long to stream it. Usually games are like 3 hours. I was like, that's cool. So I could go a maximum of 3 hours probably, right? And then if the game is terrible, you do an hour. If usually the fourth, fifth, and sixth, there might be if there's not some action going on. It gives you time. It gives you time to do some other stuff. And then if the game's good, the eighth and ninth, I don't know. I haven't decided. Maybe every day it'll be different. It's a very good possibility. But we'll typically start at game time. I might be coming on in the morning because the funny thing is since I started this, I haven't been paying attention to what's going on in the administration. I know Putin and Trump are meeting today, and I haven't had time to pay attention to virtually anything going on because I've been learning this, and I've been enjoying learning this. Like I enjoy watching what's going on in the world. I enjoy the fact that we have the opportunity to be able to know what's going on, so you can make educated decisions on what you should literally do with your money, with where you want to live. We have the ability now to move kind of at the drop of a hat. If you're really, well, not everybody, kids, I know, I get it, but it's easier now than it ever has been before. That's kind of, so I've been spending so much time on that, and then I have been coming. I'm trying to be good about it. I'm coming to uh, be on time when I say I'm going to be here. I should be here, right? And if anybody is, in fact, uh, looking forward to it. So, for example, hotels. They will say kitchen closes 10 o'clock. And then you book the hotel, you go to the hotel, and the kitchen's closed. That upsets me. So I think transparency is best. Say it. Say it on, I don't even care if you say it on the website. If it's slow, the kitchen might be closed. It's too easy not to do that anymore. So my point is I'll try to be the most transparent as I possibly can with my plans and everything, because I'll tell you also, with this happening, my brain is on fire. I use this term, but I like to watch the AI kind of reason with itself on the computer screen, because I feel like that's a lot of times what I'm trying to do. So if and I'm going to get better at this. If I don't come back to where I was, I'm going for what do you call it, Trump, the roundabout, to where I'm getting back to it. There's a lot going on, and what I really love about this type of platform, or being able to do it like this, like, yeah, there's so many different ways to do things, but this way, there's no one to interrupt you. I mean, there hopefully will be some live chats, but there's no one to interrupt you as you're trying to regain your thoughts. So I could be going, 100 miles a minute in one direction, and then actually recognize, and you hopefully you do recognize that maybe you're wrong here, or maybe you perceive that incorrectly, or maybe you said it wrong. So there's hesitation, and you have a chance to reason with yourself, and then come out and make a better statement. Now, I don't plan on having any type of script, I guess. I did think to myself I should write stuff down, because my brain is on fire. So I was like, oh, I should write stuff down. But I'm going to wind up saying the same thing probably over and over again 100 times. As long as I'm starting these videos, no one's going to really, from what I understand, the way I understand it. All right, did that score a run? It did. Nice, Alvarez. 2-2, baby. Let's take a look. Huh? Bing, bing. I don't know if you can see. Yeah, you have to be able to see that, right? Uh, uh, Again, totally new. Somebody tell me, please. Um, so I am going to go roundabout and hopefully come back to the end of where I'm going with. But I am going to be kind of saying the same script a lot. Not script, because there's no such thing, and especially tending bar. You have a new individual every day looking you in the face, different color, creed, race, gender, different people from all over the world, and it's a face-to-face conversation. And I don't think that there is anything. Yeah, baby, I think it's another double. I might score a third run. That might score a third run. Get it, get it. Yeah. Oh, I gotta stay over here. That's how. But then why is it not picture in the picture? I want to see myself in the corner over here. All right, let's try that. Boop. But also share audio. Let's not do that because nope. I keep blowing it. All right, I'll try and figure it out again. Um, so it's first and third, two out. Lindor's coming up. Oh, that's a cool looking bat, man. You see that? That's a cool looking bat. I don't know if you're allowed to see it. I don't know if you do see it, but it is a cool looking bat. It looked like a baseball on top of the bat. It had that. It's a no, is that a replay? Yep. It had the stitches of baseball up there. So the administration here has given us tax benefits. The idea here, as far as I can tell, if I was following things, and it was the last 5 years, the previous administration killed thousands of small businesses, if not more, if not tens of thousands. And what gives us the power over the government as opposed to the way it works in other places is we have the ability to beat taxes legally and start small businesses that are not in some way incorporated into the government. Some people want to get government contracts. I can see that. Depends on who's running the government, though. And the way we have it structured with the every 4 years, it seems difficult to, say you get a contract and you're like, all right, I'm going to do this. And then a new group comes in and you don't agree with what they're doing. You can't get out of the contract. And now is it the business's fault? Is it the CEO's fault? Don't know. Sometimes, I guess, right? So the idea here, for what I believe that the administration wants to do, is shrink the size of the government back to something reasonable. And in doing that, we need to produce. We need to produce. The inflation everybody's complaining about, all of the things that everybody's complaining about, we have to produce as a society, as a country, as a culture, as a everything. We have to produce here in America. Everybody's going to have to start small businesses. Now, the incentive for you to do that is to not give the government your money legally. They will try to take it otherwise. So, for example, when I get paid when my car gets back, it went out yesterday morning, comes back September 3rd. So, when I get paid, I forget, every week or 2 weeks or something like that, however it works. But when I get paid, that money's mine. And then I use that money to put back into the business to not pay taxes on that money, not full taxes. And depending on what you're doing, there's different ways. Again, you talk to ChatGPT first, and then an accountant. Yeah, baby, 3-2. This is going to be a good game. I don't know if anybody would ever want to listen to me for 3 hours straight. Well, actually, that's not true because they do. But usually there's booze involved, so you're welcome to happy hour at home. After all these years of attending bar and enjoying it and enjoying the booze, definitely enjoying the booze, I quit. I haven't had a drink now in 2 years, 2.5 years, something like that. And I'll tell you, if you want to start a small business, it is a great idea you know what? It's a great idea no matter what you want to do to cut back on your booze. I'm saying that from a 30-year bartender who I've watched. I've seen a lot. I've done a lot. I've if you want to get ahead, and this is the next 5 years of our 4 years, 3.5 to go. Hopefully, we get another. You know, well, some of the tax incentives are locked in now, which is great, but or the tax cuts or however they say it is locked in, which is great. But if we could get another couple of years out of an industry and start growing in America, we might even be able to flip the other side to where they're like, you know what, this is good. This is the way the country is supposed to run. It makes things more personal. It makes that face to face interaction more personal when it's essentially your neighbor. It doesn't have to be specifically your neighbor, but someone from your community is using your service, and it's a better service and a more competent service than one of these giant companies that are subcontracting out people who tend to be not so happy that they're being subcontracted out, which I understand. So those guys, and if you're a subcontractor, you're the business. The person who's calling you or setting your appointments, you're the business. So you go on YouTube. I would definitely, again, try to figure out a way to get Rumble to learn how it works. Because literally, I'm posting to YouTube, to X, to apparently all at the same time. YouTube, you can post there, but you can't do this. Not yet. Not that I've seen. Um, Subcontractors. That's what I again. What are you good at? I had a guy the other day, and they always seem to be upset. I had a guy the other day came. He's fixing my garage door. Now, garage door opener. Now, granted, my landlord has. We've been through this 3 times, I think, with the garage door. He knew we got to get it fixed. So I race home to make sure I'm here for the guy because they change times. First it's 7 to 11 in the morning, so I have to be here. Then they change times, so I go out, I do some stuff. They change times from 2 to 4. So I make sure I'm here at 2 o'clock, and I'm waiting. I wait from 2 to 4. I don't take a shower. I wanted to shower. I went to the gym. I wanted to shower and get ready. Couldn't do that. So I wait till 4, 4:30, 5 o'clock, 5:30. I put food on it. Murphy's Law. Knocks on the door, rings doorbell, whatever. So I go down there, and I have my buddy, Wrigley, and he's looking at the top of the stairs. Who's here? So I say to the guy, it's a 3-foot walk from there to the garage, to go inside, or, because the garage door won't open, so he's got to walk in. So he's upset that, like, the dog's not away. And it hadn't even run down. He was just sitting up top. And I was like, are you scared of dogs? He's like, well, I don't know. And I'm like, well, do you want to just take the 3 feet? I'm trying to figure out what the deal is. And he's looking at me like I'm crazy. So he goes, somebody one time said, dog was nice, and blah, blah. I'm like, listen, man, you show up an hour and a half late. You can probably hear the food grilling on the upstairs. Do you want to come in or not? And I said, you know what, give me a second. I just shut the door, turned around, I have a gate right there. I put the gate up. He came down. Now that I put the gate up, the dog comes down. Guy comes in, 3 feet, he walks across. And so I have to get aggravated after waiting an hour and a half extra for the subcontractor to do this. Now, I'm pretty sure that I have to pay him $75 because that's what my landlord told me. And then, yeah, he wasn't going to be in town. So I pay him the $75. He takes it off the rent, whatever. So I'm thinking to myself, so the guy, he goes, all right, I'm done. I'm like, okay, you need anything from me? No, like, again, sort of an attitude. All right, man, thanks for your help. Especially I offered him water. I said, if there's anything you need, let me know. Said I got food going on the grill, blah blah. So um, he leaves. I go back up, finish getting my food together. It's overcooked. Very unhappy already. And the doorbell rings. I go back downstairs, open the door. Oh, I got to get a payment. Okay, let me grab my card. I go down, I give him the card, this, that, and the other thing. Not, not that I needed an apology, but this was an inconvenience. It was an inconvenience well after the 7 a.m. to 11 a.m. time. And so my point here is, if you're a miserable subcontractor, do yourself a favor and start your own business. The car that you drive, all of those things, all of those tools you use, your phone, I mean, virtually everything. You got to wear special glasses, whatever the deal is, you write off, which basically just means you don't pay taxes on that money spent, right? So if you get paid and you pay taxes, and then you buy something and you pay taxes, you could cut the middleman, basically. So because you want and need these products anyway, and if you're producing something that generates money using them, more power to you. So every computer and phone that you ever buy from now on becomes a tax write-off. So on $1,000 that you buy a new phone every year for $1,000, you instead of you get paid, then they take 30 to 50 something percent depending on where you are, and then you pay $1,000 to the phone, and they tax you on that. That's quite interesting. I haven't had a doorbell ring in a long time. All right, I guess this is the end. Ladies and gentlemen, it's been a pleasure.